it's forecasted to go up to, $120 to $150 a barrel. Do you know what that is going to do for the cash flow? It is going to be sick. And not just the cash flow. The cash flow is not the main focus of this deal. Yes, it is a cash flow deal, and cash flow is the cherry on top. Welcome to the Cash Flow Chronicles. I'm your host, Johnny Catani, and the founder of Catani Capital Group. For the last 2 years, I've been studying alternative assets and now help solve the problem of creating passive cash flow for creators, influencers, and busy professionals by bringing you 5 episodes a week of easy to understand education in the world of passive investing. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Cash Flow Chronicles. I'm your host, Johnny Catani. I hope everyone's having a great week. Happy Wednesday. Guess what? It is the day after the official webinar. Thank you to everyone who attended last night. I know a lot of you, a lot of people signed up. I know a lot of you, I got a lot of texts and emails anticipating the replay. Of course, we'll always record the webinars and always send out the replay, so you can always count on that. But it was an awesome webinar. Shout out to Eric Rice. Shout out to King Corporation in general, Cole Oliver, to Jay, the whole group over there. They just really have such an awesome group over there. Still on a bit of a high after the webinar. I don't know, it's different than a podcast, it gets you going, gets you exciting, just seeing the numbers and the business plan. And, they've got such a great track record. And, I've had my head buried deep into the oil and gas, industry now for the last pretty much 3 months now. What is three-ish months now. I've been doing my due diligence again, lots of independent experts, just really kind of studying up podcasts, YouTube videos, news articles, you name it. And aside from obviously the big people, right? Your Exxons, your Chevrons, right? Shell, right? Obviously, like, those are big guys. But those are the guys that buy from these guys. So the thing that I love about what they're doing is this is truly, and this is why they've entered into this space of real estate investors. This is a value add deal, right? This is a 250 unit apartment, class B in a class. This is a class B in a class A neighborhood that, basically they're coming in, they're going to prove all of this land. And then, they've got, by the end of this, they've got over 21,000 contiguous acres, which basically means that they've got, 21,000 acres combined, meaning that there's no plots in between. There's no like, oh, we own this 10 and this 10,000 over here, and then this 100 over here. It's like, no, it's a 21,000, acres, all connected. And it's great because they just do it so well. It's one landowner, right? And one mineral rights owner. So it makes it so efficient when it comes to the process of, finding the hydrocarbons, which is basically just like 3D seismic, so all the geology work, all the engineering, everything is so much more efficient when you're only dealing with one person, right? And so what I love about what they're doing is that, these big players, they don't buy land until it's 20,000 plus acres of proven land. So basically what they're doing is and this is just one part too that I'm talking about. This is just the Permian Basin, which is just the gold mine of oil and gas, at least here in the US. And quite frankly, from my research and what they've been saying in the entire Western hemisphere. But basically they are, going to build this up, and eventually it's going to be closer to 26,000 acres. And, they're basically doing a value add, right? Like they know it's there. They just got to go find it. They got to figure out. And basically the way that it's working is the infrastructure, essentially what they're doing is it's almost like it's almost like spec homes in the path of progress, right? So you think of spec builders, right? They go and they build where they believe that the path of progress is on its way. So essentially what they're doing is they're building outside of the infrastructure, meaning here in the Permian Basin, they're filling giant containers and then trucks are coming in, and trucking out the hydrocarbons, right? The oil and the natural gas. And so essentially what it is they're basically creating the path of progress, meaning by, proving this land, the infrastructure is going to make its way out there, meaning the pipelines and all of the infrastructure that goes along with this industry are going to eventually make their way out there because they're proving that it's worth it to move out there. And we get to be a part of that. Like that is incredible, right? Like what an incredible opportunity. This is truly like real estate 5-6 years ago when you're getting into some of these tertiaries and secondary markets that are now proven markets, right? You think like San Antonio, right? 6 years ago, San Antonio was a spec market, right? Even markets like Tulsa, spec market, right? 5-6 years ago, right now, very proven market, just a solid secondary market, and so that's basically the opportunity that we have here. Now, listen, I get it, right? You want to do your research, a new asset class. It's new to so many people, talk to so many investors who are just unfamiliar with it. And I get it. I totally get that. You're a sophisticated, savvy investor for a reason, right? You do your research, you've got your methodology, and I totally understand that. But my challenge to you is go watch the recording of the webinar. If you're on my list, you've gotten the recording. I sent it out last night. My challenge to you is watch it. If you have not gotten it, I'm going to put the link in the description of this podcast. And I challenge you to go watch it. Even if you're not an accredited investor, this is a 506C opportunity. So it's accredited investors only, right? 100K minimum. So definitely some higher barriers to entry, right, than a lot of people are used to. And I totally get that. But, it's happening, guys. Like oil and gas not going anywhere. We're going to need it for a long time. You do your research. It takes anywhere from 500 to 800 barrels of oil to make these batteries for these electric cars. Like I promise you guys, until we have nuclear fission and you can put it in your house to power everything, it's not going anywhere. It's necessary. And this just feels like the opportunity to get in while prices in everything is still, it's artificially low, you guys. It's been suppressed. It's being suppressed artificially while we're in a recession. When this recession ends, when we roll out of this thing, the price of barrel right now, as I'm speaking this, $75, $74.87. And it's actually gone up just since yesterday. It was at 71 yesterday. I'm recording this right after the webinar. So this is Tuesday night. And shout out to my team, by the way. Thank you guys. You guys are amazing. I know this is coming in late. So anyway, so it's forecasted to go up to, $120 to $150 a barrel. Do you know what that is going to do for the cash flow? It is going to be sick. And not just the cash flow. The cash flow is not the main focus of this deal. Yes, it is a cash flow deal, and cash flow is the cherry on top. But this deal has obviously the tax incentives for your active tax write-off, but it's this equity multiple where they're going to go out, prove this ground, prove that it's worth bringing the pipelines out to this area. And these big players are going to come in and buy this land, and it's going to be sick. And we get to be a part of it. And hopefully you can feel the excitement, because I am excited. This is just such an awesome deal. I'm super fired up. I've been so webinar prep that I admittedly haven't been paying attention to what's going on in the current events. But So what I will do is I will bury my head in some stuff and bring some new stuff to you guys for Friday. But that's pretty much all I want to talk about. I just want to do a quick review. If you haven't gotten it, if you are not on the list, first of all, you should be on the list, you guys. KataniCapitalGroup.com, top right corner, become an investor. I'm telling you, you want to be on my list, right? Deals like this are gonna start popping up. We're gonna start finding these incredible deals that cash flow, that have these tax incentives. Real estate is amazing, and I love real estate, and I'll always love real estate, but it's struggling right now, and it's going to get worse before it gets better. And when it does get worse, that's when the deals are going to pop off, right? There's a reason you're not seeing a lot of deals right now, not a lot of deals flowing, right? Because they're only making sense if you can assume a loan. And a lot of the issue that's happening right now is that a lot of floating rate and bridge debt is coming due, and those aren't assumable loans. So you're really only able to assume fixed rate loans. And the only way you're able to assume a good fixed rate loan is if it's an operating group that is in trouble with another property and has to offload a successful property in order to recapitalize another property that's underwater. Those are the only deals that I'm seeing right now, you guys. That's it. Those are the only real estate deals. And that's not true. There are some mobile home park deals happening, but nobody's getting rid of, nobody's selling mobile home parks right now because those are cash cows. Those things are flowing. Nobody's selling their golden egg right now, their golden goose. Nobody's selling those right now. That's why you're not seeing those deals happening. And so that's why I'm saying, like, if you're a savvy investor, which I know you guys are, I know my listener base, you guys are savvy, sophisticated investors, it's time to look at other assets. This is why ATMs blew up over the last couple of years, because people wanted higher cash flow than they were getting in real estate. They were starting to recognize that real estate cash flow was starting to dry up and that some of these deals weren't making any sense. So they found ATMs. Well, guess what? For you out there that love cash flow, that want the tax incentives, and oh, by the way, love sweet equity multiples, forecasting turning 200,000 into 700,000, say less. That's what I'm saying. So anyways, do your research, you guys. Obviously, listen, I get it, right? My track record isn't quite there. I've only done one full, my second deal, first one all by myself, although have had some people reach out to potentially partner with, which would only just sweeten it. So, so I get it, right? Like, you got to really do your research to make sure this is the right time. So what I'm telling you is do your research, go watch the webinar. Like I said, the link will be in the description, and I'm excited, you guys. I'm really, really excited. And then at the end of the webinar is Q&A. We had some questions come in via email, which got answered, which was really great. We also got some forecasting. We got some economics. I mean, Eric is just so awesome. He really knows his stuff, and he's very, very passionate. And then the next steps and how to soft commit and only get the PPM and all of the docs and everything, all at the end of the webinar. So go watch it. Link in the description. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you're having a great week, and I will talk to you on Friday. See ya. Thank you again for tuning in. Who do you know that wants more cash flow? Share this episode with them so you can grow your cash flow together. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you're subscribed on your platform of choice so you never miss a new episode. Go to KataniCapitalGroup.com to learn more.